people that I don't want to be seeing right now, actually. So F. I don't know what you mean by F. Let's see here. I'm trying to parse it, and I don't know what I said, so I can't like reference it back to whatever it is that I said. Let's see. Let's go save. Let's go. Oh god, it's so spooky going to save because there's all these traps in the way. But yeah, speaking of which, yeah, I just find it like sad that the vampires weren't more like fully implemented into Merge. I understand now. Yes, F as in the stream went down. Yes, I get you. So and then back up as in you're back up. Okay, are we chill now? Is everything fine? Look, I am a dope. Yeah, it looks like we're back. Okay. Look, I got there eventually. Now, the funny thing is that because of the fact that the stream had the disruption, it's entirely possible that people don't even see me not understanding what the F is because it was lost to the ether. It's the issue is that like there's not really an indication on my screen of it, other than the fact that the viewers goes down to 0, because whatever the problem is not. It's not a problem on my end. It's a problem somewhere on Twitch's end. Right? And I don't know what's causing the problem or what's up with it, but it's like it's not a disruption to my internet. My internet is fine. It's not a disruption to the outgoing, so my thing, I don't have any like dropped frames going out. So from the little box that I'm looking at, everything is fine the entire time. The only way that I know that something went wrong with it is the fact that people can't see it. And the fact that Twitch stops recording my viewers for a while. So my viewer count is still at 0, even though I'm back up, because the thing that's updating that is like that piece of Twitch is broken, right? So it's a very strange situation where you would think that my streaming software would have like an idea of it, but even that maybe not, because I guess what I'm thinking is that it's possible that the specific details of the problem are such that, because you'd think it's like, well, if you ping someone and they don't respond, then you know that it didn't get through. So my streaming software should know that it didn't get through. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's entirely possible that that whatever pings they're doing to Twitch are getting responded to, and that the problem is further along in the process than my broadcasting software even has access to, right? So if that's the case, which seems reasonable to think, then that would explain a lot, honestly. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a pain to deal with. Can you imagine if you could get preservation on an item? How crazy would it be to just have preservation on an item? Yeah, it's been a very common thing to happen for me recently, right? Where I've started to expect it to happen at some point every stream. And I don't know what's causing it because I know for a fact that it's not on my end of the thing. It's not that my data isn't getting sent to Twitch. So the problem is somewhere in Twitch, and there might be something I can do to mitigate it, right? Kind of like how there's the weird artifacting issue where I can make that more manageable by casting Torchlight, right? I can help with it. Didn't I already cast Torchlight recently? I can cast Torchlight and that helps a bit, but fundamentally the problem isn't on my end. The problem is something going on with Twitch. This is a similar thing where it's like, I might be able to do something about it, but I don't even know what the problem is, because Twitch isn't even reporting the problem back to me, right? I'm not getting any sort of feedback from the service saying, oh, you are no longer live. I'm just basically streaming into a void. I'd be curious to see if what happens. No, the VOD gets split into two pieces, so it's definitely disappearing into the void. So, but yeah, I have no idea what's going on with it. Because from my end of the thing, if I was just looking at only the stuff that I have direct, like the ability to see directly myself, the only indication that it's even happening at all would be if I looked at the VOD afterward and said, why are there two VODs? That's literally the only piece of the puzzle that's visible to me, unless I go like literally onto Twitch to look at it. It's very strange. All right, so we're going to try not to clear this, because I don't think that's viable, but and this is why I didn't want to do that immediately, is because I didn't know where it was going to teleport me to. And this actually teleported me to exactly where I wanted to be. So this is actually really perfect for me. This box teleported me right to here so that I can clear these liches that I wanted to clear out. So, because I didn't remember where the box teleports you to, this is a problem. This is a big problem. I am dispelled with a lich hitting me, and it's stunned. Actually, it's paralyzed, I think, so. Whew. But yeah, the internet is going to continue to get worse forever.
There's no room.
I hate to say it, but the internet is going to continue to degrade, and basic functionality is going to continue to deteriorate on all these sites. So, just bolster multiplier work. Good question. That's one of the settings, right? Okay, I'll take a look at it once I get into the green again. Okay, we have a huge stack of enemies here, so we can loot all this stuff.
Ooh, useless.
You know what? I don't hate it, actually. I don't hate it. Potentially valuable, but it would require probably quite a lot of investment to make it more than just potentially valuable. All right. Nope. I should have done this I don't know how many are in this pack. It looks like it's just the 2 left. So I lucked out in that regard. We got a curse. Remove that. Okay. We're gonna burn down the Power Lich, burn down the Greater Lich.
There's no room.
Okay, give me a second. We're in the green. Perfect! Oh, man! This is great. This is great. Okay, let's take a look here. So, this is for multiplayer. Bolster multipliers. That's a good question. I actually don't know. I would assume... That's very funny. Yeah, Twitch is doing Twitch things. I'd have to look it up. I actually don't know how the bolster multipliers work. I don't really know that much about Merge Mod. I don't play with it a lot. So the details on its on the way that it handles everything, I just don't have a lot of information on. I was thinking that maybe if I just looked at the settings that I could just sort of figure it out from context. It's possible that the thing that I would assume is that it basically increases those stats at a greater rate than it otherwise would. So you could make it so that when they bolster up, the attack power scales faster or slower, or the HP scales faster or slower and things like that. Basically modulating how much each level that they're being added is influencing their stat totals. That would be my presumption. Let's see. But I'm not positive on that. I would assume that perception counts for the whole party like other skills do. In terms of the individualized components of it. Unfortunately, this Power Lich is just going to keep beating on me, and that's going to make my life sad. I can't dive the Power Lich behind me because it is far enough away that if I do that, then the Liches in front of me are going to give me stitches, and that's not how this is supposed to work. So the goal right now is to just let the Lich behind me keep beating on me. And we actually have a greater Lich that we can pull solo. There we go. We wait for this to get close enough. I should actually just cast a thing right now. Let's cast Preservation. Done. So, we got that done. We are not clicking on that. But we've cleared this section. Who is talking to me? Somebody's sending me a message. Okay. We are going to try to get to the green. We got to the green. Nice. And that's interesting. Does that mean that we've actually cleared? We might have actually cleared this first half already. That's crazy. We have like an hour left. So I Alright, give me 1 second. Actually, I'm going to send a couple texts to this person, the person whose medical appointment. I'm going to just send me a couple texts. So, because I might actually end stream once I finish this thing, depending on what they have to say to me. I'm so happy that this went so smoothly. Alright, so we just walk back out. We're basically just going to be TPing in there and clearing out as much as we can. Where the fuck am I right now? Okay, right there. Ouch. That was painful. Okay, so we're... I don't remember where the actual, like, trigger points for this are. And the fact that I don't remember that is really causing problems for me. What was I saying? I'm just so happy that we managed to make this work. This is so good. I feel like this has gone very smoothly. We haven't cleared everything out, but we've cleared out a bunch of stuff. And we might be able to clear this now without needing to leave. Debatable. I think we're fine. There we go. So we've cleared this cube out, which is great. And take another exit. I don't know which exit. If we took the same, if there's 4 different teleporters that go to 4 different places, and we managed to tag the same teleporter 4 times in a row, I'm gonna be very impressed with my consistency. Let's see here. We're still in the green, so we just have. Right, I can tag the thing now. I'm gonna go tag it. I forgot about that. So we should be able to just easily tag this now. This place seems a lot smaller when it isn't full of enemies that are trying to murder me and dispel me all the time, actually. Like, legitimately feels like a totally different dungeon. So here's a question. It can go back and forth. So it's my presumption that you can reset it back to the blue and that you're not locked. But it might be that the switch doesn't do anything after the first time you press it. It's also possible that I just set it back to blue accidentally. It is red right now. Okay, so we do need to make sure that we tag the blue one on the next one as well. And because of the fact that we've cleared out this first section, which technically is not done yet, we haven't finished this first section. We still have a couple enemies in the back areas here to clear out. We're not fully cleared, but we're pretty close, I think. But the nice thing about this is that we have a lot of room to play with, and we can always just walk back to here and save, which is very cool and nice. I really enjoy that. I think one thing that has been interesting about the save limitation is that it obviously changes the way that you have to play the game. You have to be more careful about certain things. And the very beginning of an area is very stressful in a lot of ways that it isn't normally. But it also, there's an interesting element to it where I always am like trying to like fully clear all these dungeons, right? So like for me, it's important to clear everything. But even though it's important for me to clear everything, I only have kind of like a vague awareness. My vague awareness is not quite right. My understanding of the level geometry is good to a large degree, but it's not super specific. The level geometry is not something that... Like, I know the generalized layout of things, but the map very much feels, because of the way that I'm interacting with the map, where it's just like, I'm just trying to enter each room once to make sure that I kill everything in all of the rooms. And as long as I've done that, I'm set. Whereas with this, I'm having to engage with the layout in a way where I'm trying to optimize for getting clearance of these areas in a way that I don't normally have to bother with. Right, where like I'm trying to, as I go along, maximize the green area. It's not like everything needs to be green when I finish. It's I need to have the maximum sized green area for as long as possible while I'm playing. That's the difference, right? And it really has made it so that like I have a much stronger feel for this dungeon and how it's laid out now, because all these areas are so critical. So give me a second. Let's see. See. I'm being sent walls of text by a person. I basically said to this person, hey, you know, do you want to talk about this thing right now? Because if you want to talk about this thing right now, then I can end stream and we can talk about it. And then they just sent me like a wall of texts about a bunch of different stuff, and it's like, okay, so is that a yes? Like, I can't read the thing that you sent me until I end stream. And I'm not sure if you want to send this to me now and I can read it in an hour, or if you want to send this to me now and talk about it now. Oh, man. God, health issues suck. It's no fun. It's oh shit. I'm not ending immediately. I'll be ending later. So, okay. There we go. So, they were in fact sending me walls of text that are meant to be addressed later. So, that's fine. I needed to confirm which, right? Like, it's one of those things where, because of the fact that I can't really read a bunch of stuff, because, when you're dealing with medical stuff, there's a bunch of information that you need to, there's a bunch of work that needs to happen before you go to the doctor. To be death and eradication are the same thing, right? Yes. Okay. Perfect. Before you go to the doctor, you need to sort of like preemptively like go through everything, say, okay, here's the things that we need to deal with, here are the questions that you need to ask, what are the basics, what is our understanding of what we think that the problem is, what are the questions that the doctors like to ask, all that kind of stuff, right? And yeah, it occurs to me that I have a lot of experience and comprehension of talking to doctors for someone as ridiculously healthy as I am. I have gotten so lucky in my life. I have so few medical problems. I have very few medical problems myself, but, it turns out that all of my parents' generation are a bunch of fucking boomers for some reason. This is an issue, actually. I might die. I'm probably gonna die. I'm not gonna be able to out-regen this. This is a very slow and painful death. The problem was that I could have tagged some of the other enemies. That's our first death, right? Was me, like, literally diving all the way in there. I should have played safer. No, I shouldn't have. I was like, I should have played safer, because I should have stored the fact that we hadn't died yet. That we had, like, a perfect run of this dungeon so far. But no, that's not fun. We should die, right? Now that we have the opportunity to do it, yeah. Why waste our opportunity to be playing more aggressively, right? You know what I should do? Oh wait, I can't get up into that room, can I? Let's see. This pack can be pulled pretty well away from each other. This is a pretty tiny Oh, I don't have protection from... Wow. The only reason I died there was because I didn't have Day of Protection, wasn't it? That's sad. Do I have any of my buffs? So I'm going to go to here, because, you know, why not? We don't have our buffs active. Do we even have Day of the Gods? We don't even have Day of the Gods. I fucking wonder. Okay, well... We do at least have some people with regen. But we don't even have, like, regen on everybody. Which is not surprising, because that's a bit of a pain in the ass. Alright. Ooh. Oh, we're starting to run into issues again. I'm going to try to burn through all of the weak ones. The regenerating evil eye is probably going to mostly just die from the fact that its regen is getting pierced. There weren't two regenerating evil eyes there, were there? I'm so happy that these don't dispel. Alright, let's recast Preservation. This is so funny. I can't believe I died so silly in such a silly way. Oh my goodness. I mean, I can. It's me, but I just aggroed some. Oh, I just aggroed some. Ooh. Okay, we got a Greater Lich here. How many Liches do we have on us? That Lich is dead. That Lich is dead. I think it's another Lich past me, right? Yep, there it is. Okay, that Lich is dead. Another Greater Lich. Okay, Dispel went off again. We're gonna go ahead and cast Preservation, but I'm pretty sure that we got dispelled by someone over here. So we have multiple Greater Liches to deal with. There we go. Preservation should still be active, I believe. Oh, shit. Alright, we're gonna pull around this corner. Okay, we got the Evil Eye. I think...
Great.
Looks like there was only the one regener. I thought that I'd seen the kill message and then it was still up, but I was clearly wrong on that. Okay, so let's recast our buffs. And... do we want... do I actually want to just clear out... I'm used to the Beholder area being, like, really, like, a particularly, like, scary area that is really hard to deal with. Like, that's my typical expectation for this section. But honestly, this section isn't going to be that big of a problem, I don't think. Because these are fairly weak, and they don't even dispel. So, like, I don't have to worry about recasting Preservation or anything like that. And they don't even go high up in the air anymore. Like, I might even be able to just use this corner, honestly. Like, I could have potentially, if I had played that better, but no, I got too far out. Ooh, this is Swift Evil Eye. Okay, so we've got a boss here. We're not taking it a boss without getting ourselves in a slightly... I don't think meditation is a skill that you'll find on gear now. Like, outside of, like... oh, shit, I might actually die here. I'm going to die here. Actually, we're bound. That Swift thing is going to... okay. Yeah, Etheric Staff is an artifact. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can get on artifacts that doesn't exist natively. Wow, I didn't save after I killed this entire fucking army, huh? Okay, that's God, what a dope. What a dope. That's a lot of SP regen. Oh, I didn't. So I need to recast my buffs. And we need to recast everything basically. Preservation is still active. Regen is not. You know what's going to be crazy is that I'm not even going to have to worry at all about protection from magic as a spell to cast pretty soon. Because we've got 4 out of 5 party members immune to status effects by default. So we're almost to the point where we don't need to worry about it at all. We're getting there. Let's take out the gazer. Okay, so we're gonna burn down the regenerator. Do we have Day of the Gods? We don't. The other thing is that Day of the Gods I might not need eventually either. It kind of depends on what I decide to do with Silria. I invested pretty heavily into light magic with Silria, which I think to a degree is a good portion of the reason that Silria... Not really. Most of it was just gearing. But it is certainly a contributing factor to why Silria was mostly there to buff for a while. And so we can make sizable improvements there. I'm going to go grab these. This is a really big pack. And I should be able to just clear this pack without too much difficulty. The Evil Eyes are really not that strong. The Evil Eyes hit reasonably hard, the top tier. But the Maddening Eyes, I think, are much more dangerous. These hit probably substantially harder, because they do the triple shot thing. But overall, it's much more dangerous to have the Dispel than it is to have the triple shot. Because of the fact that they're not... It's not like they're Cuisinart level strength. They're not even like Lich level strength. They're not really as strong as like a Lich is. So they might like theoretically have similar or maybe even a little higher damage output than a Power Lich if they're in like pure melee range. But I'm not even sure about that, honestly. That's a good question. That was what I was thinking about when I was mentioning the fact that Silria is swapping out. My guess is that the answer is yes. Because of the fact that I'm not sitting on a bunch of skill increasing gear on Quartal for all of that stuff, and I'm not sitting on any artifacts that are increasing it at all. So Quartal has some stats that are being boosted by a plus 12 or a plus 15, which is good, but Silria is sitting on a plus 12 and then a plus 20 from the artifact when the thing is cast. Now, if I'm not actually swapping out my artifact to cast that, like right now, it's less of a significant thing there, and there's a decent chance that the difference is marginal, if it even exists, right? Like, it might not be enough to make up for the greater effect per point, but I'm not really sure. Eventually, if we get proper gearing set up, this is not how I want to approach this. Certainly not at the end of stream. I'm going to start killing some more of these things in the corners. I forgot what I was saying. Basically, eventually, Day of the Gods is going to be like completely eliminated from my thing. It's not going to be a permanent part of my spell regimen. It will eventually fall off. But for now, I'm almost positive that it is going to be an overall improvement over the passives. Congrats on beating MM7. Might Magic 7 has a very strange ending. Like, I'm now remembering the end of Might Magic 7 in my head. I'm like, yeah, that's a weird way to end a game, actually. It's also kind of funny, because, like, the ending of Might Magic 6 leaves a lot of room to, like, for the plot of Might and Magic 7 to continue to happen, right? It occurs to me that Might and Magic 7, you can't keep making games without acknowledging what happens at the end of Might and Magic 7, right? Like, Might and Magic 7's ending does kind of reshape the political landscape of the entire world, right? Like, there's no getting around the fact that that changes everything. The ending of Might and Magic 7 fundamentally alters the nature of politics in the setting. And so it's kind of funny to think that, like, you just randomly have, like, people showing up after that point, like, because you have, like Roland and Catherine show up in 8, right? So it's like, Might and Magic 8 happens, and unless Might and Magic 8 happens with a very different timing, it feels like it would be pretty massively impacted by what happens at the end of Might and Magic 7. But it is also kind of funny because of the fact that the two endings are obviously, like, completely mutually exclusive. Let's see. Yeah, I always got the impression that Roland was not a very good, I got the impression he was never very good at his job. He seems kind of like, you know, the generic, yes, this is the king in the fantasy story so that, like, the plot can happen. So he's exactly as incompetent as he needs to be in order to allow the plot to happen. that kind of deal. But Alright, the other pack has been pulled. And I do need to be careful here. Okay, we're gonna recast preservation. That might be the text that I was waiting for, or it might be a completely unrelated text from a completely different person. We'll find out eventually. Ooh, that's me blind. Okay, that's fine. So this lich is going to nicely pin itself for me, which we've established on previous attempts. These liches mostly stay here, and when they unpin, bad things start to happen. But those bad things end in them pinning themselves behind me, so it's not that huge a deal. Okay, we cleared this Greater Lich. Let's go ahead and cast this. Alright, we don't have any more enemies on our list. Never mind, we do. We have these two right here. And do we have preservation on everybody? 2 hours. Why is there such a large difference in preservation time? Okay, that's... I guess I must have cast it with Silria, and only the people who already had it dispelled were able to get it. That's all I can think of. Oh right, you don't even have Master, so it doesn't last any time at all if you cast it. I forgot about that. Alright, so we have enough. We have not been getting that much experience in here, like way less than I would have expected. Let's see. It is 11 o'clock. I just got some texts. Let's check what they were from. All right. I am going to head out now. We have cleared out this entire first section, including this little box over here. We've started clearing into here. We have a shit ton of beholders to get through along each of these sides, including some bosses. We know there's a swift boss over here that killed us just now. But we're making very, very steady progress into Darkmoor. Only a few deaths, no biggie, all good. So that's going to be it for today. So thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure streaming for you today. I do apologize for having to end early today. It completely slipped my mind that I was going to need to do a thing this afternoon, which meant that I needed to prepare technically in the morning. But I am very happy with the progress that we've made, and I'm looking forward to, because it's only Thursday, right? So I'm looking forward to tomorrow when we will try to clear the rest of this. We might be able to finish this and Hermit's Isle tomorrow. I don't actually know. But we're going to make some pretty good progress, I think. All right.